think the president's comments and perhaps taking his criticism was fair of saying that police that for the most part you agree with 99% of the plan, and that there's a lot of arguing and debate chatter over cable television over a very small portion.
No. One, let me say this. I do appreciate the president acknowledging that there were legitimate concerns, legitimate issues when it comes to taking temporary federal dollars that could create permanent state spending obligations. For example, the money that we identified in Louisiana on Friday that we will not be accepting. However, I continue to say, as I've said before, that certainly I think there could have been a very different stimulus bill written. There could have been a stimulus bill that was truly targeted and temporary, focused on infrastructure, focused on the kinds of tax credits that would have gotten investment moving in the private sector. So it is not just limited to those provisions that we identified on Friday. For example, $1 billion for the census. For example, $300 million to buy cars for the federal government. For example, $50 million for the National Endowment for the Arts. And the list goes on and on. There are several spending, there's several dollars included in the stimulus that it's not apparent to me why they necessarily had to be in the stimulus package, what they have to do with actually stimulating the economy. But I think what's also important today is the president talked about a couple of other things. He talked about the fact that now going forward, now that the stimulus bill has been written and passed into law, it is important that we ensure those dollars are spent with as much accountability and as transparency as possible. Secondly, I heard both the president and the Treasury Secretary talk about the fact that it is going to be absolutely critical to make sure that our financial markets are working, that if we don't get the financial markets working again, the stimulus will not be effective, and that is absolutely critical. And I also heard the president today say that he welcomed the debate, welcomed the honest disagreements of philosophy and opinions, but that we also, I want to echo what the leaders of NGA have said today, that I appreciate the opportunity to come and to listen to the president, to talk with him and his senior administration officials. We had a chance to meet with senior cabinet officials, and I think that healthy dialogue is very good. He did not. No, he did not. Thank you.
Like Obama said that no more Katrina, so if you don't take the federal grant from here, how will you, have you come up with any solutions for no more Katrina or for your state? Any solutions?
Well, one of the things that I was happy to actually see in the stimulus, one of the things that I mentioned to the president and his officials, senior officials in December when we met in Philadelphia, was that there are actually 4,000 different projects that have been, the funds have already been provided by Congress, but are in some state of protest or appeals with various federal government bureaucracies. The total at stake there is $1.4 billion. And again, these are dollars that have already been approved for things like schools, fire, police stations, hospitals. And one of the things I was pleased to see in the stimulus was that there is a mechanism, an arbitration mechanism, that will allow for a speedy resolution. A lot of communities 3 years after Katrina and Rita are simply ready for an answer. They want to know, yes or no, whether they're going to get these disputed dollars so they can rebuild their infrastructure. So I was very pleased to see that included in the stimulus that was added on the Senate side. It is in the final version of the legislation. And again, it's not providing, you're right, it's not providing additional dollars related to Katrina and Rita, but it is going to make sure that the dollars that have been approved can be spent more quickly and can go to building infrastructure. Also had a very good conversation with the new HUD secretary about the continued housing needs. He'll be coming himself, as you know, the president has announced, to come see the needs in our community. Let me let some of my other governors, my fellow governors, answer questions.
Finally, how do you feel being the son of immigrant? How do you find President Obama?
Look, I think every American is incredibly proud by the president's personal story, the fact that we will be seeing him addressing his first joint session of Congress tomorrow night. Even though I've been selected and honored to I am honored to be giving the Republican response. Let me say that we're certainly, as Americans, very proud of his accomplishments. And I also want to say this, and again, I do want my fellow governors then to come up, but let me say this. We absolutely, Republicans or Democratic governors, we want our president to succeed. When we disagree with him, we will certainly offer alternative ideas and solutions. But we face serious challenges as a country, economic challenges, international challenges. We're going to look for every opportunity to reach across the party line to work with him. We absolutely want him to see him succeed. But to answer your question, I'm certainly, as an American, very proud of his accomplishment. I'm going to be very proud to watch him address the Congress tomorrow.